So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I feel very honored to be able to come here and speak with you tonight. And as she mentioned, my name is Major Leslie Balfaqih, U.S. Army, retired. I retired last year after 22 years of Army service. And I'm here to talk about neurofeedback therapy and what it's done for me and for my family. I joined the military as a Russian interrogator. I went on and was a military police officer and ended my career in a diplomatic role as a foreign area officer in Eastern Europe and Central Asia. I had a great time in the military. I learned a number of languages, was able to serve in 42 different countries, and did some missions in some hostile environments in Afghanistan and Bosnia. Unfortunately, with those hostile missions, the price of being away from your friends and family is an issue. You work 7 days a week, usually 18 hours a day on a good day, sometimes 24-hour operations, as all of you that are in the military know. And the biggest problem for me was turning that off. While I was doing the mission, it wasn't an issue, but in the few hours that I had to sleep at night, I would start to rethink things that had happened during the day, some of the messed up kids and people that I had seen, some of the situations that I had been in. And the sleeplessness continued, not just when I was in the military, but also after I returned home. And turning it all off and kind of trying to relax was also a real big problem for me. Having children and a family and a husband and not really being able to have fun or relax was a really big issue for them as well. We spent 15 years overseas, and we came back to the United States in 2010. I was stationed at Fort Belvoir near here, and during our time overseas, we adopted our children from Poland. So our children were older adoptees. They also had PTSD, and after we got back to the U.S., I heard from some friends about neurofeedback therapy, and it had been effective for them. They had also adopted from Poland. So we went in and tried a few sessions. And while I was there, besides seeing the effect it had on my kids, I noticed a pamphlet for a veterans study. And I called the number, and shortly after that, they did an EEG, a brain scan. And then a few months after that, I began working with Lee Esty. After just 2 sessions, I was able to sleep through the night. After several months, most of the symptoms went away. I didn't have anxiety anymore. We had an old refrigerator that would sound like mortars coming in that used to cause some real anxiety for me. But after several months with Lee Esty, I didn't have any kind of worry. I'd hear it, but it didn't bother me. I was able to go out in crowds. The depression lifted. And she also began to see my kids. And the kids had all kinds of issues, ADHD, reactive attachment disorder, which comes from not having any kind of a mother figure in the first part of their lives. And all these things improved. And my daughter even had issues with reading. She was developmentally delayed by 3 years because she had been starved. And her reading even got better with neurofeedback therapy. It was amazing. So I began to tell friends about it and colleagues. And one of my friends had something called neuropathy. So periodically she couldn't feel her legs as they touched the ground and she'd fall down. After just a few sessions, the neuropathy went away. Another friend had TBI, traumatic brain injury, had a similar result after just a few sessions. So I know it worked for me, it worked for my friends, it worked for my kids. Unfortunately, we had to move. I got stationed at MacDill Air Force Base. I wanted to pack up Mary Lee and take her with me, but that wasn't possible. She was great though, and she bent over backwards to help my family. We had TRICARE insurance, that's the military insurance. She was not a TRICARE provider, but she made an exception and actually put in and did all the crazy paperwork that they require so that she could treat my kids. I saw a statistic yesterday in the news that every day 18 to 22 veterans commit suicide. I know that this neurofeedback therapy helped me with depression, and it's helped others with depression and PTSD. So if you think about it, if you can help out and even prevent one of those people a day from committing suicide, it would definitely be worth it. If you have any questions or you'd like to talk to me later, I'll be here all evening. Thank you.